Hi guys, welcome again to Barker's Barbecue. Today we're cooking pork belly bites. Alright guys, the first thing we need to do is get rid of the skin off this piece of pork belly. I've already done it on this one, so I'll just pop this one aside for the time being. So this is a little bit, one of the more challenging sides of pork belly bites because they're a pretty easy thing to cook, but you've got to just get rid of this skin because it's not really going to work well in the setting that we're going to cook this with. So basically, yeah, there's a lot of slits in this one, so let's have a look. So I generally like to start from one end, have a really sharp knife, and just start at one corner, just so you have a tab to lift, and then basically just run your knife and just start to cut through. There's no real quick and easy way to do this, I don't think, but you've just got to make little cuts until you get yourself a nice little tab to grab onto, and then let gravity do the work. So there we go, we've got one side all apart now. So you can try and do the beef ribs trick where you just try and run your knife like that, but just be really careful, obviously. This knife's really sharp, so just run it down, angle it up slightly, just take it really slow. Don't go too fast, otherwise you might injure yourself. And then just run the knife through like that, really slow. Like I said, the skin's a really tough piece, so it's not going to go through. So just run it slowly either way. So we're this far now, which is good. At this point we can just run it a little further, hands clear now. And there we go. So you can do it either way with that. You could do it that way, or you can do it just like cutting little slits each time you go. Just take it really easy either way you do it, because it's a little bit cumbersome and people can slip doing it. So now we've got a piece of skin there. We can maybe turn it to crackle a bit later on, but I'm going to put that aside for now. So what we need to do now that we've got our belly separated from the skin is we're just going to cube it up. So you want to go sort of probably a bit bigger than you would normally. You want to go probably about maybe 1.5 to 2 inch squares. So I'll show you what I mean by that. So I'm just going to chop this one roughly in half. All right. See, we've got a nice strip there. So roughly about that size. You can make them a little bigger because they do shrink down quite a fair bit. So you may think they might stay the same size, but they really do tend to shrink down. So you'll see what I mean by the end of the cook. So we're just gonna square these up a bit. That one has come unstuck, so that can be on its own. So you're gonna get some odds and sods bits, but that's all right. That's cool. Chop that one in half. And then we'll work on this piece here. So as I'm cutting them, I'm just going to pop them into this bowl here because that's what we're going to use to rub them down. I've also got this other piece here, like I mentioned before, that already had the skin off, so I'm just going to cube this one up now. Okay, now we've got 3 nice strips there. Just try and keep them even. Like I said, decent size pieces. I wonder why they call these a pork all sort. Hey, give a look at that. All right, so we've got all of our belly bites in here now. Got quite a few in there. So what we're going to do now is we're going to rub them. Now what rub we're using today is the Lane's Barbecue Sweet Heat. So I tried this combo last week and it was a ripper combo. So we're using Lane's Barbecue Sweet Heat for the rub on them, and we're going to use Lane's Barbecue Kinda Sweet for the saucing. So you'll see how we use that a bit later on. So don't be shy with the rub. Just going to give these a generous going over. Just coat all sides, make sure everybody's nice and There's a bit of a toss through. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with that. So what we're going to do now is we're going to use our wife's cooking racks. So just some cookie racks, you know, just have a look around the kitchen, I'm sure you'll find them. So what we need to do is we need to start assembling them just on here. Try and get a little bit of a gap between them, because you want the smoke to be able to circulate around them. I've got the Weber going with a snake method at the moment that's got some apple wood on there. So it's going to be a good combo with the pork. So just get them all on there, and like I said, try and leave a gap. They will shrink down, so the gap's not critical, but you know, it's always nice to just sort of leave it if you can. All right, so we've got all of our pork belly bites assembled on the racks now, so we're just going to take these out to the Weber and get them going. All right, folks, so we've got the Weber going with the snake method today. It's sitting around about 250 degrees Fahrenheit, just where we want it. So we're just going to put these pork belly bites on. So I've also got some apple wood chunks as we go around the snake. It's going to sit quite well with the flavors that I want to put into here. So cool. So we're just going to pop these in here. Obviously, with a snake method, you want to keep them away from the heat because you don't want them to burn up. And what the great thing about the snake method is you can actually nudge this grill grate around as it cooks. So you can actually just shimmy that around as opposed to having to relocate everything. So I'm just going to pop it around here a little bit more. And yeah, then that's sitting in a good spot. And so yeah, as the snake makes its way around, just shimmy it around. So we're probably going to leave this go for about 2 hours or so, maybe an hour and a half, and we'll check in then. Alrighty folks, so we're about an hour and a half into this cook, so we're just going to have a quick look and just check on them. So we've got the, I'm going to give them a quick scratch test just to see how well the bark's adhering. A couple of these are looking really, really good. Might just move a couple just out of the way of the fire a little bit. So we're just going to scooch the grill grate around a little, just like that. And yeah, so basically, these are still looking like they need a little bit more time. The bark hasn't quite adhered to a couple of them, so we're going to give it probably about another half hour, and we'll have a look and see how things are progressing then. Alright guys, so we are just over 2 hours into this cook, and we're just going to have a quick look and see how they're traveling. So, as you can see, they've darkened up real nice. The meat the rub is really adhering to the meat everywhere you can see, so that's just what we want. So you want them to get nice and dark like this. That really rich cherry red color, that mahogany color is just what you want. So we're just going to take all of these off, stick them in the tray, and then I'm going to show you what we're going to do next. All right, so we've got all these belly bites off the Weber now. So as you can see, they are looking really good, and they'll be pretty damn tasty as they are right now. But what we're going to do next is we're going to take these belly bites up to the next level. So I've got some Lane's Kinda Sweet sauce here. One of my favorite sauces to use on pork belly burnt ends, and we've just got some butter over here. So I'm just going to cut some bits off this butter here. Just pop that through. There's heaps of residual heat in these pork belly bites. So that butter's going to melt just right and richen up that sauce as well. So let's get some sauce in here, shall we? All right. They're looking just right. So you want to give them a little bit of a toss as well. Just make sure they're all coated nicely. Just give them a bit of a... Another bit of a coat. No such thing as too much sauce in this recipe, really. Although it would be good to test it. So, so that butter is going to melt down and just add to the richness of the sauce. It's just going to combine with the sauce and the pork fat as well. So this is going to really, really tenderize everything in the end. So one really critical thing as well is that we're going to cover this in foil too. So So what the foil does, it just seals in the heat and lets them sort of steam a little bit as well. So it's really an important step because sometimes they can get a little bit dry if you leave them open. But yeah, so foil this over, give a little bit of a shake, get them all on the same level, and then we'll stick this back on the Weber and see how we go. Probably give it about another hour, and we'll have a look at them then. Alright guys, so these have gone an extra hour and a half roughly in the Weber. So basically an hour with the foil lid and about half an hour, just under half an hour with the lid off. So and would you take a look at what we've got to see here. So obviously they've rendered right down, that butter's come into the sauce as well. I might have put maybe a little too much butter in there, but that's all good. It'll still be absolutely delicious. Now let's check on one of these and see just how tender they are. Wow. Absolutely falling apart. Check on this one. Oh, look at that. Let me give this a bite. Just melt in your mouth. Melt in your mouth goodness. So, I'm going to tuck into a couple more of these. Alright, thanks so much for watching my video today on pork belly burnt ends, guys. As you can see, a big hit with the dinner guests, all gone. So they're really definitely something worthwhile trying, especially for a beginner, because there's lots of principles you can apply to other types of barbecue that you can learn from doing pork belly burnt ends. As always, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, so please go ahead and like and subscribe. And then if there's anything else you'd like to see me cook, please reach out. All the best. Thanks again for watching.